this holiday gift episode, want to walk through how to set up MP3 tracking for links from MP3s on your website to go into Google Analytics as both a page view and a goal. This is for especially all the folks who are getting into podcasting who want to be able to track MP3s on their website. And if you happen to use another format like M4A, for example, you can, of course, substitute that in. So, but this is our holiday gift to you from Trust Insights for improving the analytics, at least for the podcast episodes you have on your website. We're going to start with Google Tag Manager and then move into Google Analytics. And you're going to need both of these in place and set up. I'm going to assume that you already have Google Tag Manager running and assume that you already have Google Analytics set up and collecting data. If you don't have that, that is a prerequisite to working with this particular setup. So let's dig in. The first thing we want to do is in Google Tag Manager, we're going to need to create an MP3 variable. You'll notice that we have variables for things like PDFs and stuff like that. We're going to make sure that we have our click URL data layer variable set up. If it's not set up there, you would hit the configure button and just make sure that click URL is checked. All right. So that's the first part here. Let's see. You don't need anything else down here just yet. Oh, we will need a. No, we won't need that. All right, next, let's go into triggers. We're going to create a new trigger. We're going to call this MP3 click. And our trigger configuration is just links. It's going to be some links, and the click URL is going to match the regular expression, ignoring case, /dot/.pdf. So this is going to look for anything that has the .pdf file extension. And just to make sure that it's not somehow in the middle of our URL, we're going to put that $sign on the end. This essentially says only look at links that have .pdf at the end of the link. By the way, if you have anything like weird UTM tracking codes or stuff on internal links on your site, which you should never do, this will not work. So make sure that all of your links to MP3s, to MP3s have just the naked URL with nothing else added on the end. If there is stuff added on the end, delete that $sign, right? So I'm going to leave the $sign on for mine. So now we've got this listener. This listener is going to basically listen for clicks on MP3s. I have to remember to keep saying that to myself. All right, next, we're going to set up two analytics tracking codes. We'll call this Google Analytics MP3 VPV for virtual page view. We're going to do universal analytics here. We're going to do a page view tracking. We're going to choose our website UA tag, and we're going to turn on override. Let's go ahead and more settings, field to set. And we're going to use page, and our value is going to be our click URL. So let's go ahead and find our click URL. This is going to essentially pass the MP3 URL into Google Analytics as a page view. So if someone clicks on it, now of course on a trigger, we're going to set our MP3 click as the trigger. So this is going to send in a page view saying when someone clicks on an MP3 file, treat it as a page view and record it as such in Google Analytics. So that's our first tag here. The second thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to create a goal value of a podcast listen from the MP3 file itself. Now remember, this is if your MP3s are hosted or are hosted in like iTunes or Spotify or stuff like that, that's not going to track this, right? This is only for people who click on MP3s from your website itself. So it's sort of picking up those ancillary extra downloads, not the ones where people subscribe in a podcast player. So let's go ahead and call this one Google Analytics MP3 goal. And again, we're going to use our Google Analytics here. And this time we're going to send an event. Right? This is going to be let's see, we'll call it listen. We'll call this category MP3 click. And you can add labels and values if you want. I usually don't do that here. Because we do want to keep in mind these two settings. So we're going to trigger this with the exact same trigger as before. So we're going to save this. So now we've got a click variable, the click URL variable. We've got one trigger for when MP3s are triggered and two new tags. I'm going to open back up this Google Analytics goal because it's always a good idea to have this information available, because now we need to go into Google Analytics and create ourselves a new goal for that. So I'm going to go into my goals and I'm going to create a new goal, and we'll create custom, continue. MP3 listen is the name of our goal. This is going to be an event. And now, referring back, your best bet here is just copy and paste to make sure you don't accidentally mistype anything. Our category is MP3 click, and our action is listen. Right, and if you want to assign a value to it, you certainly can. Don't necessarily need to. We're going to hit save. This is telling Google Analytics, hey, listen for broadcasts from Tag Manager, and if a goal comes in, assign it, track it here. I'm going to go ahead now and close this up in Tag Manager. The most important thing to do, of course, is to hit submit to tell Tag Manager, make these changes live. If you don't do this part, nothing happens. So this is how you add this tracking in to Google Analytics. Now, where will this show up? It'll show up in a couple places. First, if you go into conversions in any of the goals, you'll be able to now see that new goal in the goals list here, MP3 listen, right? Currently I have 0 because literally just turned the thing on. So you would track your listens as goals there, and you could use that data obviously for things like multi-channel funnels and such to understand this is something that we achieved. And then for the MP3s themselves to see which ones people will be listening to, when that tracker starts tracking, you'll be able to type in /.mp3 here and be able to see the MP3 files. There's obviously, again, none because haven't set up any yet, but once that's in place, then this will show you which MP3s are getting clicked on your website as being treated as pages in your Google Analytics. So that's the process from beginning to end. And again, you can do that for PDFs, M4As, any kind of file that isn't HTML. This is the process from beginning to end to getting this set up. So this is our holiday gift to you for our friends and colleagues at Trust Insights. We hope that you have a great holiday season, a joyful one, and look forward to working with you in 2020 and solving more analytics mysteries together. Happy holidays from all of us here at Trust Insights.